Hello everybody, I know I'm a day late as the Tryon Games started yesterday, but we're going to take a look at it today. I am on the US server as I've already started the games on my international account, that's why I'm on the US server today. We're going to clarify a few of the instructions and go over some pointers if you're wanting for the Divine, or even if you're going to skip the Divine, a few tips just to go after the prizes instead. The actual World Equestrian Games doesn't start until next week. Let me know if you plan on going. Maybe you just want to watch it on TV, if it's on TV wherever you're at, or if you plan on watching it online. I think it will be on television in the US, so if you're in the United States, you should be able to watch it on TV. I'm excited to watch it, so just let me know if you plan on watching the actual World Equestrian Games. So on to the Tryon Games on horse. Let's look at the instructions for how do I play. We have to complete the 8 events of the Equestrian Games to win prizes and unlock the cups. How do we get roulette spins? You have to log in each day. You'll get 8 per day upon login. You can get some from opening chests, and of course you can buy them from the black market. The various cells, what kind of cells are there? I went over this quite a bit on the test server, so if you want a bit more of a better breakdown on how each of these work, you can check out one or both of my videos that I did on the Tryon Games on the test server. So the squares that you may encounter are a demonstration square that you can score points for the event. These are really important. You need to land on these to get points in order to either earn the main prizes on the board or to get points for the cups. These little bonus squares help you move several squares forward. It's a bonus move. The malice squares, this actually makes you move backwards. Then you have the objective squares. You have to complete a task, or you can wait a certain amount of time for the timer to just run out, and then you can go ahead and continue playing. We also have the crossing point. These act as teleporters, which lets you move to any other crossing point / teleporter that you like. And of course we have the chest that will give you a prize, just a random prize. And the jackpot divine is this really nice looking divine Mawika, I believe. I did look at this just a little bit before on pre-prod. So for this one, you have to collect mana when you have to observe a turtle nest every day. If you're lucky, you'll have mana, and the more turtles you find, the more mana you get for the day. When the tiki contains 800 mana, the divine will give you a fire element. This is just the fire element coat that you get from the 5th element. We've seen this before for several other divines that give you, I think we've seen all the other elemental coats by now except for the metal coat, and there's some speculation as to whether we'll get like a final Maori divine when you complete the set. Then that final divine will end up giving you the metal coat, or maybe there will be just a regular divine from the set that will give you the metal element coat. I'd be really interested in that because I still don't have a metal 5th element coat after all these years playing on the game, but I'm not really interested in the fire element itself. So that's the divine. Very nice looking. It's just not, doesn't have a perk that I'm interested in. And of course we have the golden horseshoes. To get entered into the prize draw, you need to collect at least 2 golden horseshoes from this event. You will get 2 golden horseshoes when you collect your 1st and 2nd cups for this event. It's pretty easy to get those 2 golden horseshoes. Let's start the tutorial. You have to qualify, and Ao is welcoming us to the qualifications for the Tryon Games. We have to click on this big circle right here, and to take your places, the event is about to begin. We have to click the start button here. We have to score points to move forward on the board to fill the meter and collect your rewards. We're going to press play. Now we have to spin in order to move forward some more. We're going to spin. Moves us to a demonstration square, and then that moved us +2 paces forwards to the malice square, which then moved us backwards to the square right here, which looked like it gained us 5 points. So the pawn does move quite quickly, but since testing started, they did add some animations to it, which makes it a little more clear to where you're moving. I did wish the pawn moved a little bit more slowly so you could really see what's about to happen before the pawn moves by itself, because I like kind of figuring out on my own where the pawn's going to move, although I guess it doesn't really matter to some extent. So let's go ahead and spin again. We're going to spin, and from what I've noticed of the tutorial as I completed it on a few different servers, it just moves you to the same squares. I think the tutorial is pretty much set up. That's what you see is what you get. The square is a crossing point from where you can reach any other crossing point, and we have to first collect the points that we need. This is the encouragement button. The encouragement transforms the 3 squares in front of you for your next move. Click here to activate it. And it does seem like the very first time you use it is the only time it's free. Every other time that you want to use this, it's going to cost a pass. So make sure when you look at this that it says free right now, which it will be free during the tutorial, but every other time it'll cost a pass. It only lasts from one move. I'm going to activate this and I'm going to have to spin again. And on all the servers, it's moved me to the 15 points. I did see a few questions on why, a few people have asked why they did not get the crystal chest when they spun right here. And you have to actually land on that square in order to obtain the chest or obtain the points or have to do that objective. Unfortunately, moving past the square will not get you that chest. Would be nice to get a purple chest that early though, otherwise we're gonna have to wait a while. I'm gonna spin again to cross the finish line and I'm ready to compete in the World Equestrian Games, I wish. And we're ready to start. We have the reining board and the endurance board that is open to us right now. If you notice, these other boards here are not locked. However, if you click on them right underneath the meter right here, it tells you what you have to do in order to unlock them. For the dressage board, you have to reach the finish line of 2 boards to unlock this discipline. There are several different things going on with this event. If you want to unlock the different boards, you have to reach the finish line. And I'm going to enter the reining board to show you this. The finish line is the white and black checkered square right here. If you want to unlock the boards, you have to reach the finish line of 2 boards for the dressage board and more boards for the higher boards that you get. If you want the divine, I'll have to go back a page. If you want the divine, you have to collect the 8 cups. That's a cup from every single board, and in order to get the cups, you have to get the points needed. For the reining board, we need 13 points. For the endurance board, we have to reach 20 points, and so on and so forth. There are some sort of jackpot prizes. If you want to count 30 mash as a jackpot prize, there are 2 big prizes for each board, and the points that you need to get for those big prizes differ per board. If you just want the divine, you don't even have to gain, like for example, the endurance board. If you just want the points for the cup, you don't have to keep going after you've already gotten that cup to then get the 25 points needed for the Owls Helios, right? You can just totally ignore that if you want to. I'm going to start the reining board now, and I'm going to spin. I've got 8 spins. Move me forward 2 squares, then move me forward another 2 squares, and another 2 squares, and I get 2 points right now. I spun a 3. This is something else that's a little interesting. Has anybody else pretty much spun those exact numbers to where you landed on this crossing point when you started this event? I'm pretty sure every server that I've done this on, I ended up landing on this square right here, pretty much those exact numbers to get to right here. And what do you want to bet if I spin? Because I don't really see any point right now of using the crossing point, because I end up skipping all of these point squares that if I want the divine, I want to get the points, and I might as well just go through the board right now. I want to skip the crossing point. I don't want to use it. So I'm just going to spin again. And what do you want to bet? I'm going to get a 1, and it's going to send me to the smallest square. What do you want to bet? See, I got a 1. That happened to me on every other server, and I bet if I spin again, I'm going to get another 1. Oh, well, that time to work. Okay, well, on one of the other servers, I think it was either the AU, it might even have been on International, I rolled a 1, I spun a 1. I keep thinking it's like a regular board game where you use dice. So I spun, or I rolled a 1 3 times in a row, and I kept getting sent backwards. So finally, I just ended up using the teleporter crossing point to go to the crossing point. Didn't happen that time. Let me know if that happened to you, if you got stuck there about 3 times in a row, and you finally just said, the heck with it, I'm going to use the crossing point and teleport somewhere else. Okay, moving on. I have 5 points. I still need some more points if I want the cup, which I'm not interested in the divine, so I don't really need the points. Take a horse on a ride or skip the objective. Let's take a horse on a ride. My horses on the server are sadly neglected. I forgot I have a Greyfell on here. Oh, this is the US server, that's why. I was thinking it was on the CA server. There's too many servers going on. Okay, took a horse on a ride. Now I can continue. Make sure you click continue to finalize or validate that objective. We're going to spin again. Crossing point. You know what? I'm just going to say that I want the gifts for this. I'm not going to bother with the divine. So I'm just going to spin again. I don't really want to go backwards to try to get more points. I can always just restart the board if I need to. 1, 2, 3. And I earned some points, but I'm out of spins. But I did win 3,000 Equus because I earned 8 points to get the Equus for this prize. So that's it for the Tryon Games. Like I said, pretty much the only tips that you need about getting the divine is just that you want to make sure that you get the points needed for the cup for each board. Now, because you do need the cup from each board, you have to make sure that you unlock the further boards. In order to unlock further boards, you have to finish prior boards. Finishing just means you have to reach this checkered line. You don't have to worry about maxing this meter at all. Let's just say, for example, that I've restarted the board and I'm back to where I am. I have the 13 points. I have the cup. That's great. Because I already finished this board once, I shouldn't have to finish it again. You should be able to just leave the board if you want. In order to leave the board, you can either go up here, click on this arrow to the far left of the navigation menu. That will take you back to the main page for the Tryon Games, or you should just be able to completely leave it. Maybe you want to go to your breeding farm, your office, and you can come back, or just use the banner up here to then come back and refresh the Tryon Games page. You're back to the main page. You can leave it and then you can click on a new board because, you know, if you see here, the reining board is currently in progress. I can continue it, but if I want, I can just go ahead and start the endurance board. And then I'll want to reach the finish line for this board, so I'll have to go all the way through here, hopefully use a few teleporters to make my progress speed up a little bit. Reach the finish line. I don't want to bother with the cups. I want to move on to the next board, maybe get a crystal chest, then I'll just exit the board, and then the dressage board will be unlocked by them because I only have to reach the finish line of 2 boards to unlock this one. I'm not really sure still how I feel about this event. I enjoyed it on pre-prod up until I got to the jumping board, I believe, because by the time you got to about vaulting and para-equestrian especially, one of these upper boards I had to go through about 4 times before I had the points needed to get the divine. But if you're not worried about points for cups, then I guess that's not a big deal. Whenever you restart a board, it should refresh your chests. Let's just say that if I picked up this gold chest on the reining board the first time through, I want to play it again, that golden chest should be there. Let me know though if you have replayed a board a second time and it did not refresh your chests. I know that on the test server the points meter does not refresh. So if you do have to play through a board again because you are like me, you only have 9 points on the reining board and you need 13 points for the cup, when you restart the board your 9 points will still be there. So you don't have to worry about losing your points. The meter won't refresh on you. But that also means that you can't gain these big prizes again. So I think that's it for the Tryon Games. Let me know if you guys have any questions or if you have any particular strategies that you came up with for this event. Really let me know about the strategy because I'm not seeing much of a strategy that you can really use for this event. So thank you guys for joining me today and I will talk to you soon. Bye.